Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is October 27th, 2020, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, we're looking at a yellow page, and that means it's time to talk about Cyberpunk 2077, right? I'm going to read you the official statement coming from CD Projekt Red regarding this unfortunate but understandable delay. Here we go. Hey everyone. Today we've decided to move the release date of Cyberpunk 2077 by 21 days. The new release date is December 10th. Most likely there are many emotions and questions in your heads, so first and foremost, please accept our humble apologies. The biggest challenge for us right now is shipping the game on current gen, next gen, and PC at the same time, which requires us to prepare and test 9 versions of it. Xbox One, X, compatibility on Xbox Series S, X, PS4, Pro, compatibility on PS5, PC, Stadia, while working from home. Since Cyberpunk 2077 evolved towards almost being a next-gen title somewhere along the way, we need to make sure everything works well and every version runs smoothly. We're aware it might seem unrealistic when someone says that 21 days can make any difference in such a massive and complex game, but they really do. Some of you might also be wondering what these words mean in light of us saying we achieved Gold Master some time ago. Passing certification or going gold means the game is ready, can be completed, and has all content in it, but it doesn't mean we stop working on it and raising the quality bar. On the contrary, this is the time where many improvements are being made, which will then be distributed via a day 0 patch. This is the time period we undercalculated. We feel we have an amazing game on our hands and are willing to make every decision, even the hardest ones, if it ultimately leads to you getting a video game you'll fall in love with. Yours, Adam, and Marching. So there you have it. It's very well put together. It's understandable. It's not a massive delay. You know, when you think that the game has been delayed a few times now, this 21-day, 3-week delay isn't that much. If anything, it gives you more time to play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which comes out the next day, November 20th, and you have something to look forward to just a couple of weeks before the holiday season. December 10th isn't that far away. I know that for some people, this is very unfortunate, but honestly, 3 weeks goes by like that. I'm looking forward to the game. I've been talking about it a lot on the channel. It's been in many of my video game news videos, but this is the best decision. You don't want to release a game that's broken or that somebody's going to hammer through it in that first weekend and then report of a bunch of bugs or some things just not being ideal, right? You want this game in its first impression, whether it's people's individual viewpoints on YouTube, in blogs, on forums, being fantastic. Big video game websites, channels with a lot of views, etc., magazines. You want those 10s and those 9.5s and those 9.8s. These people worked on it for a long time. You release a game that's great, but with some flaws, that later on gets patched to being, excellent, well, those first reviews already hit, right? Or you delay the game a little bit, you iron out some details that maybe you saw this little hiccup, this little graphical blemish, if you will, or some little stutter. There are a lot of versions that they're working with. 21 days, it might just be enough for them to have some, people in the offices at home working many hours to get that ironed out, re-release this update, boom, and have it ready. They want the best experience. This is a big game. It's very ambitious. It took many years to create, we're looking at plus 7-year development title. And yeah, it's for the best, but it's definitely newsworthy. I think most people that are watching Video Game News with Paul Gale Network are probably going to get it. You'll have to let me know. Are you getting the game in general? If you are getting it, if you're looking forward to this, are you bummed out of this delay, or are you in support of it? You understand, Nobody wants a game to be delayed, but 3 weeks isn't bad. Totally understand the reason why. And good job to CD Projekt Red on coming up with a pretty nice, well put reasoning as to why, apologizing to the fans and so forth. Moving on, RType Final 2 is entering the next round of its crowdfunding. Now, I'm a big fan of side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups, and RType was a really fun series back in the day. I used to play RType on the Super NES all the time. Now, this is available. Let me scroll up here. First of all, it's coming out on PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Steam. So probably you have one of those systems. So this could be applicable to almost anybody watching this. Let me scroll up. You know, they're launching, like I said, their third crowdfunding campaign. They've already met some goals, but they're continuing to make this more and more ambitious of a project, and I think it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it getting to be as good as it gets. If you just want the game itself, by the way, which looks like it's going to be a fun side-scrolling space-themed shoot-'em-up, $30 is your entry point. And of course, you've got different, things. This is how crowdfunding, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, these things work. They have different tiers, but I definitely recommend checking it out. It's good news that they are entering this next phase. They have a chart on here as well of how much money they have reached. They hit that first mark, second mark, third mark, boom. They raised quite a bit. They passed $1 million in funding. The next stage is to reproduce and incorporate one of the stages in RType 2 with this latest technology that they're using as an additional stage. And of course, if they get further and further, they're reproducing more, boom, boom. And that's kind of neat. So if you like space-themed shoot-'em-ups, if you like RType, $30 gets you in, and your $30 also helps make this game potentially even better, right? Okay, moving on. Speaking of shooters, I got another one for you, Ikaruga. I used to play this on my Sega Dreamcast back in the day. It's available now on Nintendo Switch, but Nicholas is making a really cool physical copy where you're getting multiple cases, nice art. This Hyper Gun edition is available for Nintendo Switch, and click it over here on PlayStation 4. Getting the same amount of stuff between the two. Looks nice. It's a solid game. You cycle between black and white. Enemies' bullets are black and white. And if you played Fast Racing 0 on Wii U or on Nintendo Switch, Fast Racing MRX, that game kind of got its dual color changing theme, in my opinion. It was inspired from Ikaruga, is what I was trying to say. Fast Racing Neo. At least that's how I felt when I was racing and switching between colors. I was like, man, this is Ikaruga, but it's racing instead of shooting. You might not know, you might not be familiar with Fast Racing Neo or Fast Racing MRX, but check it out on Wii U or Nintendo Switch, and if you like that kind of game, you'll probably like Ikaruga. Maybe. Ikaruga is not the easiest. It is a shooter, not a racer, so they are of different genres, but at least that theme translates over well. So Ikaruga is another one of my picks. $60 is not exactly cheap. That is the price of a full-on title, but this is a full-on title, even though it is older, and you are getting some more stuff with it. So the cost of the case, the fact that it is physical in the modern year of 2020, 2021, whenever you get this when it ships, I guess it's worth it. I'll be picking it up because I like Ikaruga. I wouldn't mind having a modern copy physically, in addition to the old Dreamcast copy that I've still got. And yeah, that's it for the shooter talk today. Moving on. And we got a decent amount of news, from third-party stuff to classic stuff, and now Nintendo talk. Nintendo announced today that Super Mario 3D All-Stars on November 16th will have newly added inverted camera control settings for all three games. In Super Mario 64, you'll be able to flip around the horizontal Mario Cam, the vertical Mario Cam. In Super Mario Sunshine, you'll be able to switch the camera around and floods controls. And in Super Mario Galaxy, you'll also be able to swap around the horizontal and vertical controls. It's kind of something that Nintendo probably should have included in the game in the beginning. I think it was kind of a lack of clarity on their part, I suppose. Not to knock them, because I like the package. I think it's three fantastic games for $60. We'll go into, a deeper rabbit hole, if you will, if we want to talk about, too bad it didn't have, a 1080p widescreen, fully remade visual, explosive version of Super Mario 64 and a background commentary. Well, that's another talk for another time, right? We've already expressed viewpoints on that on the channel. But for the base game that it was worth it. $60, three terrific games. But something like camera flip, they should have had that in the beginning. But it's a free update. People will have it. Speedrunners will like it. And I think it's cool. It's not coming that long after the game released, back in September. And of course, this game will be available for 4.5 months after November 16th. So for new people getting it this holidays, for Christmas, Hanukkah, etc., even up until March 31st next year, those people will be able to lock in, play it for the first time the way they want to. So that's cool. And finally, in video game news today, one more little piece of Nintendo. Congratulations to Super Mario Odyssey on turning 3 years old. Not exactly news, but Nintendo put this up on their Twitter today, so I thought I'd give a little bit of a shout out. I love this game. Super Mario Odyssey, if you have not played it, is a fantastic Mario game. Great music, great gameplay, awesome visuals, the stage design, the amount of enemies, the variety, the controls, all tight, the nostalgia hits just right. One of my favorite games of this generation, one of my top 2 picks on Nintendo Switch, and I don't know exactly where this lands in my all-time list, but if I had to think about it, I think this breaks into that top 10. I just loved Super Mario Odyssey, and the sales reflect it. We're looking at close to 20 million people now have purchased Super Mario Odyssey. That's the most of any 3D Mario game to date. So, props, congratulations Nintendo on the 3rd anniversary. Come on, throw some DLC in there, What a way to kick off the 3rd anniversary than to give us 3 new, planets or kingdoms to explore. Isle Delfino could be one, a couple of other ones that are new. Throw in 30 moons each or something like that. Oh, I would love it. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo is working on a Super Mario Odyssey 2, however. I could see that, but what I would give to play in just 3 more kingdoms of Super Mario Odyssey. Take $15 of mine, take $20 of mine. Whatever, man. Give me some more Mario. I love this game. I love the Cappy mechanic. I want to see Nintendo bring it back. Cappy felt like such a good inclusion. Not necessarily do I want Mario to be able to take control over his enemies in all, in upcoming Mario games here on out forever, or even in Super Mario Odyssey 2. I do miss the Mario power-ups. I do want to have Starman. I want to have that superstar power-up. I do want to have classic Mario Fire Flower. I wouldn't mind seeing a cape or some other kind of flying mechanic. But I would like to see Cappy as a weapon, and also having the ability to take over some enemies while still having power-ups. Give me a little bit of both and do more of what you do, Nintendo, because Super Mario Odyssey was great. All right, that's going to do it for Video Game Talk. Let me know what you thought today. Cyberpunk 2077, your final thoughts. RType, are you into space shooters? And speaking of that, Ikaruga, Are you going to support one, buy the other physical? Do you care? Nintendo's controls being added, new stuff to Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Are you like, too late, already played all three, and I dealt with the controls, I'm done with that, I'm not hopping back in? Or are you like, sweet, now I'm going to go pick it up because now I can play it the way I wanted to? For me, I actually like the controls the way they are set up now, so I have no problems. But I'm happy that for most people, or not, I don't know about for most people, but I'm happy that for, some people, a good majority, I suppose, or maybe minority, but for a good amount of people, I'm happy for them that they get to experience the game that suits them best. All right, let me know what you think. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This is PGN signing out. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time for more video game news. Bye.